Good day, everyone. I hope that you all can hear me pretty good. If you come in, let me know if you can hear me. And forgive me for not having this camera right. But today we are talking about the fact that there is a reason why Jesus or Joshua spoke in parables. All right. A parable is a metaphor, an analogy that brings some type of comparison or a deeper meaning or understanding of something. And since we're talking about Jesus or Yeshua, that would be a deeper understanding of spiritual things. Uh, like patois in Jamaica, you have also like Creole, you have even the Gullah Geechee dialect. How those people speak, what they say, how they say it is meant for that particular group of people. And I want y'all to hold on to that because that's the whole point. How those people speak is specifically for that group of people so that they can understand each other better. The other side of that is because the way that those groups of people speak, or certain groups of people speak is because they don't want other people to understand what they're saying. There is a specific way that Jamaicans talk when other nationalities are around versus how they speak to each other. There's a specific way that Creole people, whether it be Haitian Creole or even Louisiana Creole, people speak to each other versus when they're speaking to people who are not from their community. There is a certain way that Gullah Geechee people can speak to each other versus when they're speaking to someone else or around other people and they don't want them to understand what they're saying. All right. So I said all of that to say Jesus or Yeshua spoke in parables because his sheep would know his voice. He even said that my sheep will know my voice. Okay? My kids know my voice. If you have children, your children know your voice. They know your tones. They can tell what you're saying and what you mean by how you're saying it. They can tell if you're speaking in code. They can tell what you mean even if you just give them an eye stare. All right? So I'm going to take it back a little bit because to understand why Yeshua spoke in parables, you would have to understand something else. If you truly read the Bible, I mean, if you really, really read it, you would understand that the Bible was not written for everybody. And that hurts a lot of people's feelings. And I get into disagreements sometimes with people when we have this conversation. The Bible is not addressed to the whole entire world. It is not. Jesus said on several occasions, I came for the lost tribes of Israel. He said it more than one time, but people skip over that. I came for he came for his family. He came for the 12 tribes of Israel that had been scattered all over the place. He did not come for every nationality, for every single person on this earth. This is also why he said, my sheep will know my voice. His family would know his voice. The 12 tribes would know his voice because they were his family. They would know what he was saying. They would understand what he was saying when he started to speak in code, when he started to speak in Creole. Okay? Their heart would hear him, even if they weren't speaking the same language as him by that time, because they were scattered again. Remember that. They were scattered. They weren't speaking the same languages, but their heart and their spirit would recognize him and they would know his voice, just like a child knows their parents' mannerisms. They know your voice. They know how you look at them. They know how you're carrying yourself. They know exactly what you mean without even saying a word. All right. Hi, Sleepy Dog. How are you today? I'm one of the 12 tribes. All right. How are you today? Good day. Shalom. Luis Pineda. Hello. How are you? Thank you all for joining the live today. So he spoke in parables also because he didn't want everybody to understand. He did not want the Romans to understand what he was saying. He did not want all of the other nations to understand what he was saying, because he came for a specific group of people. He came to free a specific group of people. He wanted them to understand because he was a fisherman of the lost tribes of Israel. The disciples were fishermen of the lost tribes of Israel. They were all, the 12 disciples and Yeshua were all members of the 12 tribes of Israel. They were searching for, hunting for, fishing for their own family, trying to bring them back into the fold. All right. So there's another verse that says, it's John 8:43. It says, you don't understand me because you can't even hear me. Let's take it back. And let's take that back, because you know you have to do things with checks and balances. You have to check things. You have to, you know, bring things together with the Bible. You have to piece it together. Here a little bit, there a little bit, all over the place. All right. So as you remember, back in John 10, it said, you can't hear me and understand me, you know, because you can't understand me because you can't even hear me. So you first have to be able to hear in order to understand. So if your soul and your heart and your mind aren't even, you know, recognizing or you know, vibing with someone, you're not even going to understand what they're saying. And that's why every teacher is not for everyone. You know, you might have some people that you come into contact with, and it's just like that. You understand exactly what they're saying. And it could have been someone that has been in their presence for 50 years, and they don't even understand that person. They can't understand that person because they're not on the same level, and that person is not their tribe. That person is not their teacher. They didn't come for them. Different teachers, different people come for different people. Okay, they come for different tribes. And to add to that, yeah, I mean, some things just aren't meant to be understood, and that's for a reason. Another thing I wanted to add is the fact that words are very powerful. There's a saying that says the pen is mightier than the sword. That's because words are mightier than the sword. If you get a man's mind, you'll never have to do anything else. You won't have to lift a strap to him, a belt to him. You won't have to discipline him physically if you already have his mind. All right. And that's why it's important for us to truly hear and listen and understand to everything that's going on around us, to get rid of the foolishness and filter out the foolishness. All right. So another thing to remember is Yeshua spoke in parables, and that's very important because unfortunately a lot of religious sects have made whole religions out of a particular verse out of the Bible, and everything is not meant to be literal. All right. He spoke in parables, yes, because everything is not made to be literal. And some of those parables that he spoke of, people have taken them to be literal and ran with them and created all of these different cults and all types of things, and they weren't even the case. It wasn't even the case. It wasn't what he meant. And you know, you have tons and tons of people that have followed that and gone way down the wrong path. So everything in the Bible is not literal, and you have to remember that This book has been translated and translated and translated. And even before that, you have to remember that some of these things were parables. They were not literal, because he did not want any and everyone to understand what he was saying. All right, so I'm going to clarify and just give you all the Bible verse, and you can go and look them up for yourself. So he says, my sheep hear my voice. That's John 10:28. And the other one is, you don't understand me because you can't even hear me. And that one is John 8:43. All right, because I like to give some reference to what I'm talking about. Yeah, so that's pretty much my spiel for today. Yeshua, or God, I'm sorry, Jesus or Yeshua, he spoke in parables because he did not want everybody to understand what he was saying. All right, so do you all have anything to add to what I am talking about today? If not, if this live is over, feel free to just drop a comment, and I will definitely get back to you. I'm very good at interacting. I like interacting because you can learn different things from different people. All right, so remember that. And if that's it, I want to thank you all for joining. Ernest, hi, how are you today? You have anything to add about the topic I'm talking about today? The fact that Yeshua or Jesus spoke in parables for a reason? Let me know if you all have anything to add. If not, I'm going to go ahead and end the live. And again, thank you all for joining me. And you be blessed. Okay? Bye-bye. Hi. I don't know how to pronounce your name before I go off. I'm sorry. It's Butena. I'm not sure what language that is, but hi. Ernest. I didn't hear, but thanks. Okay, no problem. Well, thank you all. Be blessed.